Thank you so much, and thank you for everyone being here and for your interest in this topic. It is so critical to the health of our community. Let me start by saying that, the county recognized immediately a year ago that this was not just a public health crisis, but it's truly an economic crisis as well. So many people have lost their jobs as a result of the pandemic. And we understand and know that it's economic insecurity that causes people to go hungry, that causes food insecurity. And so at the same time we were launching our efforts to address the virus itself and to protect people's health, we also launched our food security branch in our emergency operations center. And so and all of our team are part of the county family that have taken on these new assignments and new responsibilities to respond to helping those in need. We have librarians and parks employees and pool lifeguards and all sorts of county employees that are out either at the vaccination sites or that are working in response to the public health crisis, and also working to help deliver food resources to those who need them. And my own story, if just to maybe digress for a second, is the county's chief sustainability officer, where I work on policies and programs to address public health and equity impacts of environmental pollution in our communities. But during a crisis such as this, we all in the county are jumping in to provide the support and help that is necessary to get us all through this. So when we launched the food security branch last year, we of course set out to respond with specific programs, and I'll talk about those in a second. But we also wanted to truly understand the nature and scope of food insecurity in Los Angeles County, and we partnered with USC to conduct research among the population. And what we discovered was shocking and astounding. 1 in 3 residents of LA County over the past year have struggled with food, getting adequate food resources. And there are 10 million people in the county, so that means 3 million people in this county over the past year have had times where they haven't had enough to eat or anything to eat, and that's tragic, of course. And we've worked very hard to address that, and I think we've made a dent. But this is a huge problem, of course. And some of that research also pointed out who, in particular, those 3 million people are, and we saw that Black and Latinx populations were much more affected than the general population. In fact, 40% of Latinx individuals were food insecure at some point over the last year. That's remarkable. And the other interesting fact that we discovered was that it's really young people, people ages 18 to 40, with children, without a college degree, who are the most affected. And that I think makes sense if you think people who are in that category. A lot of them are gig workers or restaurant employees, food service workers, and so significant food insecurity among that population. So of course, the first thing we did was to say we have existing programs in the county that are meant to address food needs, and we have programs like CalFresh, which are essentially the food stamp program. And we have a speaker after me that'll talk more about how the CalFresh program expanded. But there's others, including the Women, Infant, Children Nutrition Program, which provides food support to pregnant women and mothers of young children. And given the statistics I just cited, I think it's critical that the WIC program, as it's known, be enhanced and promoted, and we've done that. And we've also, of course, had to respond with expansion of our senior meals programs and to provide home-delivered meals. And we've provided over 4 million home-delivered meals now to seniors. In fact, in total, the Board of Supervisors has allocated over $135 million in county CARES Act funds to provide food support. And there are a number of ways that that money has been spent. One that I want to highlight is a partnership that we launched with the LA Regional Food Bank. And we had discovered early on that a great number of local community food pantries had closed as a result of the pandemic. They were either too small to be able to safely socially distance within the pantry, or the volunteers were no longer available to come work at the pantry because people were staying at home, rightfully so. And so we launched drive-through food events. We've now done more than 90 drive-through food events where anybody, no questions asked, no eligibility requirements, can show up and get 50 pounds of food placed into their trunk. And we were in La Puente earlier this week. We were in Long Beach today. We'll be in Hawthorne tomorrow. We'll be in Southgate. We're going all throughout the county to provide these resources, and as a result, we've distributed more than 9 million pounds of food at these events to about 150,000 households, and so that is one of the ways that we've responded. And we also have a speaker from the food bank that'll talk in a moment. But we've also, as I mentioned, provided our senior meals program. We've provided $20 million in grants to community-based organizations that themselves have stepped up and responded to need that they see in their communities. We've given out 30,000 grocery store gift cards to the most food insecure. We've provided meals, almost 1 million meals for people experiencing homelessness, and the list goes on. And all of these programs, information about them can be had by calling the county's 211 service or going to our website at lacounty.gov. And I'll just wrap by saying, we are absolutely in the county committed to putting food on the tables of our most vulnerable residents. You can't fight a pandemic on an empty stomach, and we want to offer not just food.